Good morning, my friends. It is Wednesday, April 20th, in the year of our Lord 2022. How are ya? Today we're going to talk about gear on the road. Facebook Live is crazy. It's like you start a video and then they start popping up tips. Like I don't need a tip right now. I just need my people. Hey, sorry. Um, so we're going to talk about gear for the road specifically. Um, and before we get into that, please, as you do, make yourself known in the comments section. Because as you know, it's always nice to know that you're talking to people live. I'll still talk to you whether you're live or not, but it's always a nice thing. Um, I forewent. I love that word. The past tense of forego. I forewent a shower. I should be telling you these things, but anyway, I worked out this morning. I work with a trainer sometime, like it's temporarily, but it's to get myself back in the swing of things in a new town and all that. Um, anyway, and I was just like, it's pretty close up to the time that I start these lives. And so I was like, okay, do I get out my gear and get all the gear ready, or do I take a shower? Because I don't have time for both. So I opted to get out all the gear. So please, please pardon my hair and all that. But anyway, let's talk about gear. Let me see if anyone's here. Not yet. Oh, hello. Hi, Yvonne. Larry, how are you? I assume others of you shall pop in and say hello. The first thing I want to say about the whole gear thing is that this is so personal. What particular thing you do, how you have it set up. There are lots of options for microphones and interfaces and all of that. So let me just say from the top, I'm going to show you my gear, okay? And I'm going to tell you what I do. And you will get opinions from lots of different people, and then you need to just navigate what works for you. And I will say that my travel gear has morphed over the years, absolutely. And it has become ever more streamlined. Less gear, smaller gear, and then I've really switched up my thinking about travel mics, right? So it is a process of discovery and figuring out what works for you, how you travel, and all of that, right? So let me start by saying I take all of my gear in a carry-on. This carry-on, it's a Samsonite, it's little. I got it so that I knew that it would fit not just in the overhead bin, but under the seat. Because where I fly and the people that I go and see, I generally have to take, I'll take a big plane, a 737 or what have you, to a major city, and then I usually have to take a smaller regional jet to the place that I'm going. And those overhead bins are, they fit a backpack, really, is what they fit in these smaller Canadair, planes. So I modified that because I really didn't, even though I could do plane side baggage check, so it's actually right there, and I can grab it as I exit the plane, that gate, that plane side check. I want my gear with me, right? That's the thing. Baggage is handled in a very rough manner, and even though it's well protected in the case, I just want it with me. So that's a piece of why I kept streamlining and finding things that were smaller, and easier to take in a smaller bag. So that was kind of priority one, a bag that will fit not only in an overhead bin, but under the seat, and even under the seat of a small plane. And that bag does. Very rarely is the plane so small, and sometimes it does happen that it won't even fit under the seat, in which case I do just gate check the bag or plain side, check the bag. So that's number one. It's a Samsonite. I think I got it on eBags a few years ago. But check, when you buy a bag, if you're going to buy a bag, check measurements. Get on the airlines that you fly and see what the measurements are of the bag, yeah, of the overhead bin space and the under seat space, and then purchase a bag accordingly. So then what I have, like the thing that I have done recently, because I'm not just traveling, I don't take travel gear with me just to audition. Although I do audition, I try, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, but I do audition on the road, but really I work on the road. I have affiliate clients, and every time I leave town, I have work that I have to do because it always happens that way. You leave town and work shows up. So I made the decision that I was going to buy the same microphone. So I have a Sennheiser 416 in my booth at home, and I bought another 416 for travel, and that is for consistency of sound. So, so I did that. I'm a big fan of buying microphones used because they are expensive, and generally people who are in the recording industry and in the voiceover industry, they tend to treat their equipment very well. And so I've never had a problem. I have one 416 that I bought new. I have another one that I bought used. I have a TLM 103 that I bought used from a friend. So I'm a big fan of used stuff. Used microphones. Because I know that that's an expensive outlay. A 416 can be anywhere from $800 to $1,000. It's a lot of money. But that is what I have done for the sake of consistency for my clients. I need to give them audio that sounds pretty much the same wherever I go. So that's number one. So I have a 416, Sennheiser 416. I do not travel with my TLM 103 because it's a microphone. I don't know what you call it. Cardioid microphone? I don't know that much about equipment. But I do know that it picks up the room. And generally when you're traveling, the room is not great. You have to do all of these things to make the room or the space acceptable, right? And a 416 in that way is very forgiving. It picks up what's right in front of it. So I don't travel with a TLM 103. Not effective at all. I've tried it. It's not good, So that is what I did for my microphone. Over the course of time, I have gone. What I used to do too is that I work with an Apogee Duet in my booth at home, and I tried buying. I bought a new Apogee. This was years ago. I bought another Apogee Duet, and then moved it. And then moved my old one into my travel gear and the new one at my home. And then the software just went wonk, on my laptop, and it just became difficult, So that, the old one just lost its mojo, and wasn't consistent and was really aggravating. So I ended up buying an Apogee 1. So the 1 and the 2 just really has to do with how many lines you can plug in. So I tried the Apogee 1, and I really wasn't satisfied with the sound. I just couldn't get. I don't know why that is. It's the same gear. It's a great company, but I just couldn't get it to work, and it was so frustrating. So I opted out of that, right? And then it was recommended to me by two people. Well, one person really, and then another who followed the advice. It was the Centrance Micport Pro is the interface. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is the Centrance Micport Pro. The dials are very easy to read, which is really important for blind people like me who I can't. It's so hard when you're recording. You're like, where's the gain? all that. It's very easy to set the levels that you want. It I plug it into my microphone by virtue of this little, it's a little 3-foot cable. Um, and so, obviously one end goes in here and the other end goes into the microphone. Um, and then I've got the USB thing that goes into my computer. And I have to have an adapter because I don't have USB ports on my MacBook Pro. That's the feature they got rid of and upped it to USB-C, I think it is. So that's what the Micport Pro looks like. This is great sound. Like I'm amazed by it. And I want to say it's around it's around $200 or $300. It's in that range. And I love it. I'm thinking about when my Apogee Duet that I have upstairs loses its mojo, I'm just going to get another one of these because it's really consistent sound, and you control the levels on the thing, right? I open it in twisted wave. It recognizes the Centrance Micport Pro 2. It's just really, it's so not fussy, and it has great sound. So, and I got this information from Townsend Coleman, right? Who is, he's nothing if not a sound freak, right? Like he is so attuned to everything and recognizes good sound and is just always, he's always looking for the best thing. And this is the thing that he landed on and he loves it. And then a mutual friend of ours, Steve Mackle, who is the voice of NBC, late night. So he does all the Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, and sometimes he does SNL, but he's that, sort of young, spry sounding voice of NBC late night. He records for NBC from his house every night with this and a Sennheiser 416 on his MacBook Pro. So it is, used by professionals. So it's really good gear. And as far as interfaces go, it's not that expensive. There are some that are less expensive, and there are some that are more expensive. The Apogee Duet is about $1,000, and this is, I'm so much happier with this, right? So that's the gear. That's the actual sort of technical recording gear that I use, and I have Twisted Wave on my MacBook Pro. For those of you who are like, can't afford a Sennheiser 416, I found this microphone that is sort of a little bit of I can't say a rival, but it was made to kind of compete with the Sennheiser 416 at a lower price point. And it is called the Diety S Mic 2. Deity, like, up in the heavens. Diety S Mic 2. I don't own one. Another voice actor friend of mine who, works steadily in promo, commercial, video games, Sally Saffioti, she bought the microphone on my recommendation, and she said she loves it, and she travels with it. And I want to say that microphone is in the $300 range, the Diety S Mic 2. So that's another microphone option that is less expensive. Okay. I can't personally attest to its sound, but but there's a lot of discussion out there about that microphone, and it's one that I looked up, and it was like she was looking for a mic, to travel with. She has a 416 at home, and she didn't want to spend that much money for her Rhode gear. So, and that's what she bought, and she's really, really happy with it. So, so that is like gear there. Okay. So then I take all the things that I have at home. Like I bought myself another pair of the headphones that I use. I use the Beyer Dynamic DT770s, right? These are my old ones. I have a new, and I actually bought this little, it's like a little knit hat. for this part, which the leather started flaking, right? And I was like, the headphones are perfectly good, so I just got this little cover. I can't remember where I got it. I don't know, Amazon probably, and it's fantastic and it's comfy. It's like a little knit hat for my headphones. So I really try to take everything that I use at home on the road. I've really tried to duplicate because I don't want to be thinking to myself as I'm recording on the road, oh, I don't like these headphones as much as I like the ones at home. I'm like, well, get the ones you had at home, and just duplicate your rig. And it'll just contribute to your sense of comfort in the booth and familiarity. And since you don't really use your road gear all that much, if it's the same gear that you use at home, there isn't this learning curve when you get into your hotel room of like, how does this work again? What do I do? What are the levels? Right? You know those things because you work with the same gear at home, right? So that's why I do that. Then I have this mic stand, which I love, and it looks like this. I know it's a little crazy, but it's like my computer is sitting on it now. I wish I could show you, but how does it sit? It sits like this, right? That's the side view, and your screen goes like this, right? So anyway, it's a fantastic little stand. Who makes it? It's too expensive. Let me just say that. It's a Roost stand, and there are knockoffs. This is a place where I'd go, like, get a knockoff. I like to have mine up. Um, it's just more comfortable for me. That again is a personal choice. So, but I use this Roost stand. This is like ridiculous. It's like $100 and something. It's so stupid to spend that much money. There are knockoffs just like this that that are in the you know $20 to $50 range. I mean, it's so crazy. It's a few pieces of plastic put together, but it's really the ingenuity of the design. It's very stable, and I think that's why I like it. It's You can't knock your computer off of it, and the feet on it are you can't just easily knock the thing, and so that's great because oftentimes we're in fairly compromising positions in whatever booth setting that we're trying to create in a hotel room or in the back bedroom of your aunt's house, or wherever you're traveling to. So then this is a thing I love so much, and I've tried all kinds of microphone stands. I've tried the ones that sit on the tabletop, that have maybe a little bit of a neck, and and so the microphone is coming. The mic is kind of coming at you sideways. You're speaking in sideways, which is not how well, I guess it is how I work at home. And, it's my setup here in Franklin is different than it was in LA. In LA, I had a swing arm where my mic came down, and it was coming at, like it does at most studios, like it's coming this way to me. So right now, mine is kind of coming this way. It's interesting, and because the I don't have what's necessary in my closet to be able to attach a swing arm, and I'm renting and all that. So what I use instead, I have in my booth, I work from a standing desk. And so I attach this fantastic thing, which is a gooseneck, right? Um, this is an attachment whereby I used to be able to really easily interchange microphones. This is not pertinent to what we're doing. So don't be confused by this little piece. This is a piece, obviously this is the thing that your microphone goes in, and then this is a piece that's attached to the gooseneck. Otherwise, this part would just attach to this directly, and this little part would be gone. Okay, so, and it's got this fabulous clamp, right? So it clamps on the edge of my desk. And then I can move this thing any way I want, right? And I have this in my house, and I have this in my travel gear, so that I can attach my microphone to a number of places. Like if I'm setting up in a closet and there's a shelf in the closet, I can attach this thing to the shelf and I can pull the microphone down, right? I can do that. I can, attach it to the desk if I'm at a desk, and I can attach it there at the edge and I can, then pull it toward me this way and maneuver it. So this is called the Stage Ninja. Stage Ninja. All of these things are available on Amazon. They do some research because Amazon always has a bit of a price hike. So do a little research and you may be able to find this direct from them, and it might be a little bit less expensive. I don't remember how much it was, but I love this thing, and I don't use a desktop mic stand anymore. It's like it takes up too much room on the desk. So let me see if you have any questions at the moment. And then I'm going to get to how I set up, right? What I do to create a space when I'm traveling. Okay. Okay. They're both cardioid. Okay. I love how much you know. I love you people that you know things that I don't know. So, hello everyone. John, Maggie, Sonia, Lisa, Larry. Maggie. Hello, Maggie. You made it. So happy. Let's see. They're both cardioid. What am I? Yeah, the Diety. Okay, reverb.com. They're like, really, I won't read these. You guys go back and read the comments. Maggie, your question. Does the Centrance Micport Pro 3 mic preamp and USB audio interface do the same thing? Yes, it's an interface is what it is. It is the thing that connects your XLR microphone to your computer, right? That's what the interface does, right? And yes, that is, and it's the Micport Pro 2 that I'm using. There may be a 3, I don't know, and I don't know if that was a typo on your part, but yes. So the Apogee Duet, the Centrance Micport Pro, the Focusrite, Scarlett, those are all interfaces that connect your XLR microphone to your computer so that your computer can read the sound, right? So yes, in answer to your question. Okay, so $300 for the Micport Pro. Yeah, that's about right. At B&H Audio. It may be a little cheaper on other sites, but look around. Okay, so let me get back to how I set up. So again, I've tried a myriad number of things over the years, and what I've landed on is the luggage rack. So I take a luggage rack, the luggage rack that's in a hotel room, and I set it on top of a desk. And then I take every pillow and put it to use. I put a pillow on the top. I put pillows on the side. And I put a pillow at the back so that I've created this space into which my computer goes on my stand. And this is why this stand, an elevated stand, is helpful because, there's a bar across the bottom of a luggage rack, right? And so it just sits because of the shape of it, it sits over the bar, right? So I can put my computer in, right? And then I put my microphone on my Stage Ninja, and then I either attach the Stage Ninja to the luggage rack itself and bring the microphone down and speak this way, or I put it on the desk, right? And I move it over and use it that way. There are a couple. My dog is being so nudgy today. She's going to start barking soon. Anyway, so that is how I kind of set myself up in the hotel room. Now, depending upon the space, right? So these days, hotel rooms don't necessarily have carpet everywhere, and the surfaces are a little harder, and all of that, and those are things we have to contend with. So sometimes I put a towel underneath the whole operation. Like I'll set up a towel first so that everything's not up against a hard surface, right? And then I put up the pillows and I set my computer in and clamp my microphone and all of that. And then perhaps I'll put a pillow on my lap, and if it's a bouncy room, I will get a blanket. Did this at the Beverly Hilton. I just felt like such a dork. Nonetheless, it's somewhat helpful. I'll get a blanket and I'll have it, sort of like back behind me, and I'll pull it up over and I will record. Right. So I'll put myself kind of in a cave. If the room is such that the surfaces are softer, there's carpet and, I'm right. She's going to start whining. If there's carpet, if I'm right at the bed, which is soft surfaces as well, then I don't necessarily need that. But I am prepared to do that. So the luggage rack thing is the thing I do. I have traveled with girlfriends who are voice actors, and it's amazing what they do. Like my friend Becky Reedy, once we shared a hotel room in Las Vegas at Promax, and here we are setting up our gear, and she took a chair. There was a chair there. She just took out the pillows and picked up the chair and turned the chair over on time, put it on the desk, and had this nice cave, and she said everything, but the chair was perfect for it. Not every chair will do that, but it was just it was the perfect chair. So anyway, hang on one second, I have to talk to my dog. Okay, stop. Can you come here? Come here. Okay, shush. Get up on the chair. There you go. Settle in. Oh my goodness. Look at her. She's so desperate to go out. She's been out. I want you to know, and she's been fed. I'm not neglecting her. She's just nudgy. Okay, so those are really my best tips. I am not a gearhead, right? There are gearhead. Townsend Coleman is a gearhead. And God bless him, right? We need them. We need these fabulous gearheads that teach us things. If ever I have a question or a need or anything, I call Townsend. I go, help me, and he's like, oh yeah, I can tell you that. Do this, try this. But what I want to say is, so I can't sit here and recommend a whole huge variety of pieces of gear. So, which is why I just gave you what I use. And then it's, just like it was for me, it's trial and error, and you do your best. And I have finally figured out a setup that is close enough to what I do at home that I'm confident I can provide my clients with what they need. I'm not a fan of getting lesser equipment for the road. I am not. There's, again, it ties into, there's no such thing as beginner equipment. There isn't. You either sound good, you either invest in proper equipment that sounds good, or you don't. And then you don't sound good, and then you're not competitive or viable. Does that mean you have to buy the most expensive thing? Absolutely not. But it needs to be of a particular quality that can be used professionally. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I get auditions where the booking information is, and I really only, I can't audition for things that say, this session will take place live in Los Angeles. I can't audition for those anymore because I don't live there, right? So I have to do things for home studio, right? And so whenever there's a home studio spec of here's what we need for the booking, every single time it says no USB mics. No USB mics. So people who give, advice that say, oh, just get a USB mic because it's just so much easier. It may be easier. And there may be some good USB mics, but it is not the same. It's not the same. And so my feeling is you want to get the the most reasonably priced, the best equipment that is the most reasonably priced for your budget, right? And because you can get a mic like the Diety, there's no reason to get a USB mic. It just isn't. So I'm a bit of a stickler in that way, right? I really think that we have to keep our standards up, particularly if we want to be competitive. Like you can certainly send auditions with a lower quality microphone, but the fact that we all pretty much record from home now, what you're doing when you send auditions on equipment that is of lesser quality, you're telling them that that's the quality of your studio, that that's what the work is going to sound like. So to me, get the best equipment that fits into your budget. And if you don't really have any budget, save your money until you do. Um, in that regard, right, always have in mind that you are after the best sound, and again, it's kind of a personal thing because you do have to, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, do what you can't, you know. Um, but don't opt for lesser equipment, right? That's what I would say. So thus endeth my homily on travel gear. Let me see if anybody has any more questions. Let's see. Yeah, large diaphragm. TLM 103 has a large diaphragm. The 416 has a small diaphragm. Thank you for that distinction, Lisa. And they're both cardioid, yes. Let's see. The Rhode NTG5 is a great shotgun mic. Great to know. Some tech professionals say they prefer it to the 416, and it's $499. Great. And that's new. Hi, Beth. Yes, blanket forts and chair caves. Luggage stand. Yeah, I love the luggage stand. And, it's very, very rare that hotel rooms don't have a luggage stand. So I've been to one where they didn't, and it was like, all right, how am I going to do this? Let's see. Kim, I'm a recovering gearhead. Have to not let it distract me. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Finally got a TLM 103. Yeah, it's a beautiful microphone. The TLM 103 is actually my favorite microphone. I love if a person can love the sound of their own voice. I love the sound of my voice on that microphone. It's really, really good. I edit on Twisted Wave. Yes, I don't use Adobe Audition or Audacity, but you can, absolutely. Then you edit on Adobe Audacity. A lot of people use both of those. In my world, the Twisted Wave is kind of the standard, but I know so many people also who use Adobe Audition and Audacity. Let's see. How come I can't get some more comments? Is it because this is not... Wild. Trying to... I know there's a comment under there, but I can't get to it. That's frustrating. Ah, there we go. Thus endeth. Yes. Okay, so I don't see really any questions there, so I'm going to let you go. This has been a long one. I want to say that Voiceover Body Shop, is that what it's called? VOBS. George Whittam, he always has really, really, really great information about microphones and travel gear and all of that. Like, he's a really great resource. Tim Tippett's great resource. Townsend, if you can find him online, he's a squirrely one, that guy. But you know what? If you have a question, please go ahead and ask me, and then I probably won't know the answer, and then I'll go find the answer. And then I want to say that, I am developing a course, and it's taking me so much longer than I ever thought it would be. And while I don't have specific gear recommendations right now, I will, and it'll be a piece of that course, like a sort of a free resource, right? With gear recommendations from professionals in the business. So that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope it was helpful. Um, and that's it. I'm going to take my poor dog for another walk. All right. Have a fantastic remainder of the day and a great rest of the week. And I will see you next week. Don't know what the topic is yet, but I'll see you next week. Take care.